once again, I wouldn't say that we're broke from this weekend, but it definitely didn't go our way. We're gonna touch into that in just a minute. It's also a late night recording. We're gonna get the YouTube up ASAP tomorrow. We're getting better at just uploading immediately. So, welcome to the HOT PASS Podcast. If it's your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. I gotta just shout out to whoever's once again listening in Belgium. Shouts out to you, or if your IP address is in Belgium or something, shouts out to you because you're blowing it up just as much as fucking America and Canada. So shouts out to you. Dover weekend, Oh, also at Furlong Eric _ is my social media link tree in the bio on everything. You can go to the Action Network, go to the YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. The HOT PASS Podcast is available everywhere. We always have the Friday morning betting show, where you guys can get the truck bets and Xfinity bets exclusively on there. And then I always post my betting cards about 30 minutes prior to the race. That's why you have to listen exclusively to the Friday morning betting show. And also follow me on all my social media because I'll post, picks throughout the week. And go like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Dover weekend. I was ready to conquer Miles the Monster, and didn't happen. We were broke about, 2 units, plus 2 units on Sunday, and then lost 6 units on Saturday. And we're going to dive right in. Honestly, over the whole weekend, it was the weather for Xfinity was hit or miss, and the turnout was good, but Sunday was unbelievable. Okay, Sunday was unbelievable. The amount of people that were there. We're going to dive into it a little bit later, but we need 2 Dover dates. There's a couple of tracks that could completely get rid of. They're 2 dates, and I think that's fucking Texas. Get rid of the 1 day to Texas, and then fucking because I think we go to Texas twice. So get rid of one of those dates, and then fucking pop in another Dover race. I would love to see it in the playoffs, dude. Oh my god, better than going back to fucking Texas. So suck my wiener. Next year we need to figure that shit out. Anyways, let's dive in. Friday was Xfinity practice and qualifying, and Brandon Jones qualified really well. Last minute, we ended up deciding before the race to take Brandon Jones over Carson Kvapil as well, and I think he ended up crashing at some point in the race, but Carson Kvapil almost won the bitch. Was rooting for him, but also kind of rooting against him because I was kind of pissed off, and we were going to take Carson Kvapil top 5. That would have hit Brandon Jones. I just don't know what to do about Brandon Jones. I like the guy, but he qualifies well, and then all of a sudden it just falls apart, and there's nothing there for that team. So it looks like in this moment we're gonna get through the race. We're gonna break down a bunch of stuff in the race, but it just looks like at this time Brandon Jones is probably gonna lose his ride, and Carson Kvapil's gonna be in that position next year. It just seems like that's how it's going to be. If you guys don't know, if you guys don't really watch Xfinity, Carson Kvapil, his dad was, I think he's a 2003 Truck Series champion, and his dad was at the race, and Carson Kvapil's a short track guy, and he's getting the opportunities to drive in the 5th Junior Motorsports car in the 88. That Junior, or Dale Jr. also drives in every once in a while, a couple other drivers here and there. Yeah, Carson finished, 4th at Martinsville, and then his second race he ends up finishing 3rd, but almost won the fucking race. Doing a lot more in 2 races than Brandon Jones has done in 2 years at Junior Motorsports, or in his second year at Junior Motorsports. So, it is biting on his ass. I don't know what the contract is for Brandon Jones. I'd have to look and maybe ask some people to find out what his contract kind of entails. Maybe I can do a little bit of research to be able to find out for you guys, but it is just not looking good for him. I'm sure it was probably a 2-year contract, and then we'll see. He also brings a lot of money from Menards, a lot of money, his sponsorship with Menards. So he'll find a ride somewhere, if it doesn't go his way this year. But like I've also been trying to discuss. We'll get into the race in a second, but I've just been discussing with people and like my brother and stuff. It's like, what happens if Brandon Jones does pull out a couple of wins? Right? Like he's good at Michigan, and there's a couple other tracks that he could just all of a sudden randomly pull out a win. But like if he doesn't make the playoffs, he's done. Doesn't matter if he wins races in the playoffs, he's done. If he makes the playoffs, he gets a win. And then, you know, he's good at Martinsville usually. You know, there's Richmond. We got to go back. I think we race this one time at Richmond? I can't remember, but I think we do. No, we raced twice at Richmond. As far as I can remember, but anyways, he's good at Richmond. You know, he's good at Martinsville. So if he does make the playoffs and somehow makes it through, and he wins a couple of races, like 2-3 races, what's the situation we're in? Justin Allgaier ain't going anywhere. He's going to retire at Junior Motorsports. Sammy Smith, they just signed, and he still has to get a win. Sam Mayer has been winning, so he's on the rise there. He's not going anywhere. So it's like, and then they've got the ride of Carson Kvapil trying to come in. So the only guy I can see out of the four is Brandon Jones. I'm just thinking out loud. This is what I've been having in my mind, and I love Brandon Jones. It's just like, man, he's having a tough time even trying to finish in the top 10. And unfortunately, our bets on Saturday end up finishing. AJ Allmendinger was 6, and I think Brandon Jones ended up crashing at some point. So, you know, it doesn't play out well. So, anyways, the race was good. It ends up that, you know, our like at one point, I think in the third stage, there's about like 40 laps to go or whatever. All of a sudden, you look at the radar, you go to Dover, Delaware, and the rain is there. It's coming. And they ended up having to bring everybody down. Cole Custer's about to win, and I'm like, all right, you know what's cool? Like, I got 6 units total in this race. Justin Allgaier finishes third. I'm cool with it. And then all of a sudden, they're like, no, I'm not finishing this race. And honestly, I was cool with it. And then they decide to start doing some laps. Cole Custer's like, well, I got to pit. I'm going to run out of fuel. So he goes and pits. They go green. Austin Hill gets the fucking lead. And we took Austin Hill last minute. You have to follow me at Furlong Eric _ We took him. Well, then there's another caution. And then there's rain. And I'm sitting there like, end the race. Justin Allgaier's in second. Austin Hill's in first. Just end the race. We're cashing a huge bag. Well, then, no, the rain stops, and then Justin Allgaier goes to pit. He never gets back up. He ends up crashing at the end of the race, causing, you know, the green-white checkered for Ryan Truex to win the race. But then Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed are side-by-side at the restart after Justin Allgaier pits. And the battle there was amazing. And here comes Carson Kvapil. Now, off the top of my head, I can't exactly remember how it played out. I know that there was a caution. Sheldon Creed kind of falls back a little bit. Now it's Austin Hill and Carson Kvapil. I think Carson Kvapil ended up getting the lead. But Carson decides to choose the outside, Austin Hill on the inside. And at this point, I'm like, you know, Austin, you and I have a love-hate relationship. And I'm like, at this point, just do it for me. And do it like every other time you've ever done anybody wrong that I bet on. Turn them. Well, I don't know if he tried. I'm not gonna quote anything. I'm not gonna fucking, you know, come out of left field, come out of pocket, as the kids would say. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Austin Hill, I'm sure, tried to run him up the track like he always does. Ends up turning himself. So hey, buddy, I mean, to each their own. You done fucked yourself. And at this point, I'm like, oh my god, Carson Kvapil's gonna go win this fucking race. We had 35-1. And I think everybody was kind of rooting for him, man. I mean, I don't care who you are. Once Austin Hill wrecked, everybody's like, okay, well, Carson better go win this fucking thing. Well, no, cautions breed cautions. And at the end of the day, Ryan Truex goes and wins. And he looks like some fucking Lord of the Rings shit with his hair, right? He looking like... I'm trying to name a fucking Lord of the Rings character right now. We got Gimli. We got Legolas. Who's the main guy? Oh my god, I gotta pull it up. Lord of the Rings cast. Not Frodo Baggins, I can tell you that. Aragorn. Aragorn? Wait. This whole time in my life, I thought it was Aragon. Oh, no, it's Aragorn. Aragorn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was not that the whole time. They just added an R in there for fun. That must be a spelling mistake. They have Frodo Baggins, Aragorn, and Gandalf, and Legolas, and so on and so forth. There is no way that is Aragorn. Fact check me. There's no fucking way. My whole life has been a lie. Aragorn. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it was the British accents. It had to be the British accents that fucked all that up. Anyways, it looks like Aragorn. It doesn't sound right. That does not sound right. I have to say it in a British accent. He looks like Aragorn. There it is. And you have to sound like a devil. That's what he fucking looks like. Just go look it up in the movies. All right, I don't give a fuck. And he's just all happy. Also, earlier on in the race, he fucking sends Jesse Love around. Just says, go fuck yourself, and then wrecks him. So, I don't hate Ryan Truex. I was thinking about taking him. But I was lucky as fuck. There was a lot of circumstances of, Allgaier and Cole Custer staying out. So, I mean, there was a lot of circumstances for him, like, to go his way to be able to win that race, and congrats to him. I'm not saying, like, well-earned win. It was a hard-fought battle. But let me tell you, when it comes to our bets, okay? Our bets in Xfinity, it just seems that at this point, I think Xfinity is just as bad as trucks. It's good fucking racing, but the cautions after cautions after cautions, I'm not saying it's okay. It's not as bad as trucks, because trucks are just flat out wrecking each other for literally no reason, and it's like one caution leads into 10 cautions. Xfinity will have one caution that leads into 4 or 5, but it takes out a lot of the front runners. It jumbles up the field. And that has been the only one that we had that was super, 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 super lucky was Sam Mayer to win and AJ Allmendinger top 5. Now, we were really close and we had AJ Allmendinger 6th. I just want to say that AJ Allmendinger was a non-factor all fucking day. He was just riding around 8th, 9th, 10th, like all fucking day. Had no business even being up in the top 10. It was just other cars were absolutely dog shit. But it's just this late race calamity, man. And the rain really played a factor into the race of, like, Allgaier and Cole Custer being able to get back up there. Now, just to close off on this point with Xfinity, if you're Cole Custer's crew chief and you see rain coming, don't ever cheer again. His little fucking southern ass is jumping up and down going, fucking, we got this, baby. Oh, it's gonna pour, brother. It's gonna pour. Hey, there's all this fucking rain coming. Dude, don't ever cheer again, because he was cheering like a motherfucker. If you go back and watch the broadcast, if they've uploaded it on NASCAR on Fox, he was he jumped up and he was clapping and stuff. And my brother called me and he goes, that guy better sit the fuck down, because my brother pointed out that on the radar he was looking at that it looked like it was going to split right down the middle, and it was going to miss the track. So my brother called it, and I was like, oh my God, I just want the race to end, not gonna lie, because I'm gonna fucking make some of my money back, but whatever, Now, also, Junior Motorsports having a rough. At this point, I have to say that I think Justin Allgaier needs to come on the podcast, because he'll win a race after that. I'm calling him out. I still haven't gotten the email back about getting Justin Allgaier on the podcast. They keep saying that they're gonna have him on, and they're fucking sneak dissing me. And this is what happens. If you're going to sneak diss me, bro, then you ain't going to win races. So until you come on the Hot Pass podcast, Justin Allgaier, seems like the W ain't coming. And I wanted him to win so bad. He looked so good all day. And then Cole Custer, looked like he was going to win. So don't cheer before it's actually, over, before they call the race. Lessons learned. Okay. So then we go into the Cup race. Now, I have to say that I felt good about these bets. I felt good about this race. I have to say, man, and I said at the beginning, the attendance was amazing. Texas was a terrible fucking race. The aero blocking, you couldn't pass. It was a Martinsville on a 1.5 mile track. It was absolute dog shit. Chase Elliott got lucky as fuck to win. I genuinely think it was a Tyler Reddick car. Try to think back at that race. Who was really good? Brad Keselowski, he got really lucky because he was way in the back and qualified really bad. So I really think it was like a Tyler Reddick or like a Kyle Larson or something, but he had the tire come off. So, but like you couldn't pass. If you stayed out, you had guys that were complete nonsense that were even up there. Daniel Hemrick, Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland, a bunch of guys up in the top 10 that have no business being up there. Zane Smith. And we know that next time when we come back to Texas, bet the long shots to be in the top 10 because that's how it's going to be. A caution's eventually going to come out because of tires, or spinning out because you got too high because you can only run the low groove. Anyways, that's Texas. We know, but I'm just saying that we got to get rid of one of those because this race was good. The rubber was coming in super early. People were like Alex Bowman at the end of the race. Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. You saw Kyle Larson trying to hunt down Denny Hamlin, and he's way up towards the wall. Almost like he's not running the same line as Darlington. Darlington, he like runs the line all the way from like the entrance of turn 3 to the exit of turn 4, and he runs the wall. Same with Tyler Reddick, but he was coming in kind of in the mid and then working his way up in the middle of the corner up high and then coming off high. It was beautiful to see. Now we'll get into the aero blocking in a second, but I feel like we all find some sort of way on a weekly basis to complain about something in NASCAR. This is not what this is. But I just have to say that we got to have a second fucking race there. I was absolutely shocked how packed it was. It was beautiful. I'm telling you guys, NASCAR is back. If you guys aren't on the Hot Pass podcast roller coaster, if you guys have not started watching NASCAR and you guys are still stuck in your F1 ways, there's better products on track, and this is NASCAR, man. Like this is way better product. My buddy sent me something earlier on in the weekend, and I gotta call him out on here. Mac went to high school with him, and he knows he's gonna get upset with me. And now I posted it on this on Saturday, I think it was, about what he sent me, and it was like a list of like a reel on Instagram. It was basically a list of what F1 does and why it's so great. And it was like, we race at night. Well, we race at night. They race during the day in the rain and the sun. And I went, well, we also have certain tires that we can race in the rain on road courses and short tracks. Vegas stopped and stared at us. Well, we also race in Vegas, not in the streets of Vegas, but also we race in the streets of Chicago. So there's another one, so we can compete with them as well. And we do it 26 times or 25 times. And I went, well, we also race 36 times in a year. So we get more racing, more like different styles of tracks. Like you have intermediates, short tracks, super speedways, road courses. At one point we had dirt tracks. You have like a concrete tracks. You have tracks like Bristol, which is a special half-mile night race for like it's, you can't get better than this, man. And I'm telling you guys, it's better than F1. If you saw today at Dover, the crowd in the last couple of years, that thing has been spotty, not the best crowds. Also because last year, like, they ended up having a race on Monday, and obviously that it's not a long weekend, and that does play a factor. Last year we had a terrible weather for a lot of the races. So far so good this year, other than like Richmond, it was a little rainy, but we got the race in pretty much on time, and Daytona. But other than that, it has been a stellar year. We've had a couple races. Martinsville was super boring, and Texas was pretty shitty. But for the most part, it's been solid races. Get in on it while you can. So, anyways, stage 1, I end up taking a bet on Byron to win the stage, and, Truex, of course. Let me just tell you, if there was a medal for having the best or having the most second place picks over the last couple of weeks, whether it was qualifying at Richmond, qualifying at Martinsville, Brad Keselowski at Talladega, Riley Herbst at Talladega, and then Byron in stage 1, and then Alex Bowman in stage 2 to win the stage. I would be a rich man. This is getting fucking stupid. I mean, you go through dry spells, right? Betting is a bunch of highs and lows. And this weekend was a bunch of fucking lows. And I have to say, like, I said it a couple weeks ago at Texas, 1.5 miles are my most profitable by far, whether it comes to trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. And that's why I'm excited that we're going to Kansas this coming weekend, because usually that's my most profitable. It seems like it's a little bit easier, at least for trucks and Xfinity, to predict who's going to be up there. Where some of these tracks like Dover, there's going to be a lot of cautions, and the guys, there's a lot more calamity on short tracks with like Martinsville and Richmond, at least in the trucks and Xfinity. So it's a little bit more easily predictable, at least with Kansas. I'm going to say that, like, there's a lot of guys that run good there. We have a lot of good bets that are going to be coming up on the Friday morning betting show later on this week. So make sure to follow me. And I just think that it's like, man, I'm done with finishing second. We're going to hit a good streak here. I feel it. It's coming. And, second place, just, if you're like today with Brad Keselowski, I'm recording on Sunday night, but if it was like Brad Keselowski where you're finishing dead last, I'm cool with it, right? I'm like, okay, cool. But finishing second. So I'm watching Byron trying to get to, finish the stage, and it was like 7 or 8 laps left, and Truex gets him, and I'm like, God damn it. And then literally 2 or 3 laps later, Brad Keselowski goes spinning around, and I'm like, you couldn't have done that earlier. So I'm like, oh my God, bro. But we hit 2 stage matchup bets. It was Alex Bowman over Michael McDowell. That was easy by a long shot. And then Ryan Blaney over Kyle Busch. I was a sweat at one point. I like sweating, but that ended up winning. Currently, actually, I'm sweating my nuts off. For some reason here in Canada, it's like 20 degrees at night, and it's humid because the next 2 days is going to fucking piss rain here. And it was cold like the last 2 weeks. So we haven't turned on the AC yet. It is fucking hot as fucking here. This is why I have a little like weird skull floral light shirt on right now, because I was gonna go shirtless at this point. It is fucking hot in here, and I'm gonna have to sleep with 2 fucking dogs and my girlfriend. I love them all. Definitely my girlfriend. Dogs, you can sleep on the floor. I wouldn't care, but it's gonna be hot in that bitch. And I'm going back to work soon, so I got to get up super early in the mornings. Going to get back up at like 5, 6 a.m., start going back to the gym, get on the routine, the sleep schedule, all this shit. But we'll get into that another day. Just want to say that's why I'm fucking dripping right now. And I look fucking ridiculous. I'm not all hyped up. It's midnight. I'm recording this. I need to be in bed. Let's move on. We're getting into these weird, like little baby, like little sassy little slumps. Like I'm a fucking crybaby bitch. And I can't keep doing this. We need to ride off into the sunset. We need to have the hype that we had with Sam Mayer 2 weeks ago. God. Okay, no more depressing. We're going to just go to Ricky Stenhouse spinning out, having a great run. Ha! Ricky Stenhouse is back, baby. And then, we have to go back to the depressing moments. As you can see off to my right, your left, we are fans of Bubba Wallace. And we all saw the dumb, stupid move after the we're going back to green after the Ricky Stenhouse fucking caution. And Zane Smith, now I don't know what happened. Why Bubba and Byron and Seabell, I don't know if they pitted or something. And they ended up having to be back there with like guys that are down laps like Zane Smith, Corey Heim, and so on and so forth. But Zane just completely runs into Bubba. Gets super loose, runs into Bubba, fucking wrecks William Byron and Seabell as well. Like, Bubba is not having a good time. But we're going to move on from that. The main thing I was really pissed about is that fucking 23 paint scheme with the U.S. Air Force with the fucking teeth on it and everything. If he had a good finish, and he was going to be finishing probably on the side of the top 10 today. I was really hoping to be able to get a die cast of that, and please God, if you guys are listening to this and they do come out with a die cast for that, please go buy it, because you have to be able to have enough orders to be able to produce the fucking car. And I'm pissed about it. Back in the summer, at the summer Daytona race, they were going to have the Luke Combs Columbia car for Bubba, and they had it up. You could buy it, and they ended up not getting enough orders. So if they come out with this, everybody please get it. Whether it is a 1/64th or a fucking 1/24th die-cast size, please get it. Was it 1/24th? Yeah. Please get it. At least buy one of them so all of us can have it and have a good time and get it signed, whatever, and just have it in our collection, because that is a beautiful car. And to see it get smashed up today was fucking ridiculous. See, and now here we are going back to pressing again, because now I got to talk about aero blocking. There's no positives here. There's positives. The beautiful weather and the fan base. Unbelievable. Welcome to NASCAR. This is the greatest sport on fucking planet Earth, other than the NHL playoffs are going on right now. Aero blocking, man. I mean, I think Kyle Larson had the better car than Denny Hamlin, and it was probably going to take another 20 laps. I mean, maybe I'm being a little drastic, but at least another 20 laps to catch Denny, or at least past Denny. I was watching it with Chase Elliott on the scoring pylon on the left-hand side of your screen. Chase was trying to get by Kyle Busch for a fucking while, and he never ended up doing it. Every time he tried, like, their times would get close. They weren't showing on the broadcast because he decided to show only one or two guys. But every time he would try and get close to him, and then the times would get close, all of a sudden Chase, because I had Chase top 5, he would drift off another like half a second. So I'm like, obviously he's trying to pass him and he can't. And then eventually Noah Gragson falls out of the top 5 and Chase cashes that top 5. But I was like, the only way is somebody's going to end up having to fall off on this long run. So thank you, Noah Gragson. Great run by him as well today. Unfucking believable. I saw somebody had plus 2,500 for him for a top Ford. Unbelievable. Got super lucky because Blaney, I think, was like right behind him. But like aero blocking, if you guys don't know aero blocking, it's literally you're just putting your car where the other guy behind you, his car is. There's like no offense in these cars. If you just drive in your mirror, Ross is really good at it. If you're trying to pass Ross and he's in first place, good luck. We saw it at Phoenix in the championship race when Ryan Blaney was trying to pass Ross, and Ross is like, And all you have to do is literally put your car in the same stream as the guy that's coming up behind you, and you take all the air away from him. So that was really bad. I think we also saw when I was down in Vegas, we also saw it with Larson on Tyler Reddick. All he had to do when Reddick was making his move and he was going to get a run is Larson just had to like move his car up there. Move his car up, and I think it was in 3 and 4, and between 3 and 4, and blocked him. I think it was like 2 laps to go, blocked him, and then Reddick had no chance. I mean, that is just ridiculous. We cannot have that happening. And I feel like at this point it's just a week-to-week basis that we find something to complain about, whether it's the track or the scoring pylon at Talladega last week and all sorts of shit. But, man, that cannot happen. Kyle Busch was pissed. But also Kyle Busch gets into his car every weekend and cries and complains, and he gets a top 5 finish. And he's still complaining. Kyle, if air blocking wasn't a thing, or you wouldn't even probably be in the top 10 because your cars are so bad. So I'm just going to tell you, Kyle, be grateful you got a top 5 finish. Because next week at Kansas, I am still not touching that shit. He has not shown shit at any track, really. So that was a little glimmer of hope for Kyle Busch. But yeah, we got to fix this aero blocking. We got to get a Gen 7B car out there. We got to figure out something. I don't know what it is. I'll let the engineers in NASCAR figure all that out. But yeah, I just have to, I'll keep saying it. We need a second date there. I fucking love that race. I think they took it away because of during COVID, while COVID started going on. So we got to bring that back. There's a couple of tracks I would love to have another date, but we got to take away Texas. That shit was bad. Just shows the product of it. Everybody able to lay rubber down, move up and down all over the place. I just got to keep saying, guys, if you're not into NASCAR yet, you guys are just listening to this for fun, you guys are nuts. absolute fucking dumbasses. If you're just listening to, like, not watching NASCAR on Saturdays, Sundays, even Fridays for Truck Series, and you just want to hear my voice, let me know if it's sultry and smooth. Somebody said I got a radio voice. No thanks. I don't want that. Now, I was talking to the girlfriend the other day that at one point I wanted to get into radio, and then I went, well, why don't I start my own fucking podcast? Yeah, I'd be making money on radio, but I'm also stuck doing radio, and you probably have to sign a contract that you can't do this kind of shit. So go fuck yourselves. Not happening. Anyways, Danny goes and wins the race. I can't believe I didn't even mention that. So, I'm tired of these favorites winning the races all the time. So hopefully at Kansas, Bubba pulls out something. Bubba won there in the 45 car. Reddick won in the 45 car in the fall. Look out for Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. I think they've won every single race in the 2311 has won every single race in the next gen car there, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm at least 3 of 4. At least 3 of 4, if not 4 of 4. So keep an eye out for them. Early picks, if I'm going to be Taylor Gray for the Truck Series. I'm actually going to look up the times of when these races are at as well. I just want to make sure that you guys get all the times before the Friday morning betting show. Okay, Heart of America 200 is Kansas Saturday. Ooh. What? Is the Xfinity race? Okay. So, yes. Okay, so we do not have Xfinity race this coming Saturday in Kansas. I forgot. They alternate. So, I think the trucks don't go back in the fall. Don't quote me on that. But then Xfinity will be racing in the fall and trucks race in the spring there. So Saturday at 8 p.m. in Kansas, Eastern time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They're racing. I'm going to say Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray to win top 5. That's just the early picks. And Raja Karuth, whatever number you can find, to win in top 5, maybe even a top 3. Those are the early picks. Obviously, Corey Heim could go spank the field. I don't know. I don't think there's a Cup driver coming down to race, but obviously here on the Friday morning betting show and then the Cup Series, you got to take Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace in some sort of facet. Top 5s, top 3s, whatever you can get outright. Obviously, don't hammer your whole card on that, but obviously, I think you really got to take those guys. They've been the Pied Pipers, and also Bubba Wallace had a great car at Kansas until he ended up blowing a tire and crashing. Arguably the best car until that happened. So, you'll hear it on the Friday morning betting show. How about that? Kiss my ass. So we're not going to be fucking around. So I got to get to bed. That's been the Hot Pass Podcast. Make sure to like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast, whether it's on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever. Make sure to follow me at @FurlongEric_ on X and / Twitter and Instagram. And the link tree in the bio there is you can go to the Action Network and go to the YouTube, wherever. Make sure to go to the Action Network. All my Cup bets, early on bets, whatever I'm betting on, whether it's MLB, golf, whatever, you guys can follow me and follow my action there. And then obviously, as I said, the Friday morning betting show always is exclusive to the Truck Series and Xfinity bets. And then, make sure you follow me on all my social media. I cannot hound this enough. Make sure, because I'm always posting shit every day, posting who I think's going to be good, posting out stats, posting out picks early for Truck Series and Xfinity. Because you guys, if the line's open, trucks will probably open up on Tuesday or Wednesday night now, since there's no Xfinity this week, maybe Tuesday night. But if I see a line that I like, I post it. I say, hey, I took this line early. So if you guys want early picks and you guys just want to be thinking about betting on NASCAR all week, make sure to follow me at @FurlongEric_. Okay. And make sure to like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to this podcast at all times. It means the world. All right. Hopefully there's an upside to Kansas. And honestly, I have to say, Kansas probably puts on the best mile and a half show. So you guys are in for a treat this weekend. If you guys haven't watched a race yet, if you didn't see the Atlanta 3 wide, okay, you didn't. What else did we have? Oh my God, it's just been so many. There's been so many good races so far. But if you haven't seen any of the races so far, this is a race that you're going to want to see. Kansas puts on a fucking show. I can't even explain how good it is, dude. You know, like when you had your first chocolate bar when you were a kid. Or, you know, when you were the popular kid, you had the honey buns, you had that pudding, and everybody wanted a little, can I trade with you? Oh, you got the Lunchable, the pizza Lunchable, fucking trade it here. And your hot shit, that's Kansas, baby. Everybody's coming to Kansas. And they want a little itty-bitty piece of that. Every other track wants to be a Kansas. So this is the race you guys are going to want to watch. So, yeah, Saturday, trucks, Sunday, Cup. I'm fucking excited. Let's go. Positives all day, baby. All right. Talk to you guys later. This has been the Hot Pass Podcast. I'm a fucking lunatic. We'll talk to you guys later. See you. Peace.